Hey folks, how are you doing? It's Wednesday, the 21st of February. I'm just getting rolling here. It's 8:30 in the morning. Well, first up, I'll say again, thanks to Bill. I wake up and I see here in my email, I'm connected to Steve Hackett's management. Something may happen here. That would be awesome. Thank you, Bill, very much. I don't know this Bill. We've never met, but apparently he's involved in the business in some fashion. He seems to have connections. So thank you, Bill, for making the effort. The same with Mauricio, who connected me with the members of Gentle Giant. I appreciate it, folks. Thank you very much. I got an order. It'll go out. Yes, folks, I've got digital sex CDs. I know that it's not convenient that you just can't go to a site and click a button and order it. But all you have to do, like I got this morning, was I got an email at dereckvon@gmail.com. You know, send me $15 through PayPal, leave your address, and you can get a CD. All my other CDs are still available. Well, not all, but you know the ones: the Muse and Interlude and Woven Territories. So when I was getting up this morning, I thought to myself, I almost didn't want to make a video, but then when I get the messages and see what's going on, it's like I need to address that. And I see here in my comments, you're most welcome, Brother D. More good news coming soon. My. Here's another one from Argentina. Saludos desde Argentina. Yes, Chester is a legend. Another person is letting me know that they got their CDs. Very cool. Yes. Yes, I would speak to Tony Banks. Steve Hackett is more of an interest to me. Tony, I mean, I'd be happy to talk to Phil Collins, actually. There's other folks, like, for example, I have a connection to Terrace Martin, the producer. That could be an interesting conversation. He seems quite busy, and so I'll have to think about that, whether or not to bother him, because I do have contact with him. So let's see what happens with Steve Hackett, eh? Let's see what happens. Do I have something to show? I do. A couple of records yesterday, and another good visit with my friend Nick, not Fackler with the baby, the other one. My other friend is very much into trying to improve himself, and he'd like to find a decent woman and get married and have kids and all that stuff. And we've been having some good conversations. Nick is a young white kid. I still call him a kid, who was raised very typical. And so there's a lot that happens that he just takes for granted is true. We got to talking, and I won't go into detail, but we got to talking about politics, and he made some statements, and I asked, well, are you sure that's true? Have you actually seen this for yourself? And he said, well, actually, no. And I said, what you're doing, do you realize the way you spoke and how you just sort of said it as though you think it's real is dangerous. That's what's going on in this country. And a lot of folks, good meaning people who don't stay in touch, that's the other thing that he admitted. He doesn't stay in touch with the news from any source. So he really didn't know what he was talking about. To me, that's alarming. But that's what's going on in this world. I played a couple of records yesterday. Played this all the way through. Isn't that lovely? The reissue of Electric Byrd by Donald Byrd. What's cool about this is that, the word is that he was inspired, like many people were inspired by Miles Davis doing what he did, going electric. But this is nothing copycat at all. Not at all. It's Donald striking out on his own territory. It's a very good album. I did notice, though, because I do listen, who's playing the sax? There's a few sax players on here. Jerry Dodgen, Frank Foster, Lou Tabak and Pepper Adams. Somebody gives a Duff solo on here. I doubt it's Frank Lowe. If it is, it's like that was a bad day, and they kept it on there. But it's a crap solo. It stood out. It was like, but again, that I watched. I love Ron Carter, and I've watched several interviews with him. Now he's someone I don't need to interview Ron Carter. I don't have deep knowledge in jazz to talk to him, but I sure respect him. I watched the latest interview with Rick Beato, and that man is an encyclopedia of information. I forget where I was going about Ron Carter, but it was like, yeah, Ron Carter was talking about how back in the day, all those early records, a lot of them that he plays on that are live recordings, they had no idea they were being recorded. That's just them doing a gig, and so whatever got played got recorded. This reminds me of that in that, well, everybody else did pretty good, but that one solo was kind of so-so, but it's going out. This is a good album. The other album I played, thinking that this was ready for the trade bin, but I'm going to keep it. Dr. Calculus, designer Beatnik. And I did not look. Stephen Duffy, I think he was involved with, well, I have to look him up. I think he was involved in some new wave stuff, possibly the band Felt. I'd have to look it up, but this is nothing like Felt. This is a lot of sampling and that 80s sort of production, 1986, but I like it. I like it. I enjoyed it. I ended up listening to a whole side. Dr. Calculus. The only other thing in real time that I can share is that I listened to this last night. Going to sleep. I hadn't listened to this in a long time. Yesterday, I think, was the anniversary of the release of Phaedra by Tangerine Dream. And this album was a pointing the direction for people. This is aged. I still like it, but as I was listening, it was like you can hear where this is like the illustrations here. It was something that was almost formless coming together, being formed, being created. I have two different copies of this. This is an American. I've always loved that Roger Dean designed label, including the first version, which is black and white. But this is the other thing that I listened to. Tangerine Dream. Okay, so let's see if something happens regarding an interview or a visit with Steve Hackett. I would love that. And in other news, someone sent me a link, because I don't subscribe to very much online. I just don't. I don't like to. But my friend subscribes to the New York Times, so he gets to see all the content that you don't get to see if you don't subscribe. And there was a very positive review of the David Nance mode sound in New York Times, either yesterday or the day before. And he shared it with me through an email. I'm still excited for David and myself. I think his new album has legs. You know, the way that things are now, you put music out and you have people's attention for maybe 48 hours before the next batch of what comes in and catches. You know, we're so easily distracted. You know, I have hopes that this album can grow in the public's attention. It's deserving. It's people music. It is. That's mainly what I have today. Everyone, be well. Stay in touch. Like I said, I've got CDs for sale. Email me if you want the digital sex before they're all gone.